All right, viewers, the Supreme Court today delivered a stunning setback to West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee, upholding the Calcutta High Court's cancellation of 25,753 teaching and non-teaching appointments from 2016. The court slammed the selection process as vitiated by manipulation and fraud. Very strong words. In fact, the court also spotlighted a massive jobs for cash scams as well. While tainted staff won't have to pay their salaries as they've drawn so far, a fresh recruitment has been ordered within 3 months. The ruling has ignited outrage, with the BJP now demanding Mamata Banerjee's resignation over the scam, which has also been linked to jail TMC leaders like Partha Banerjee. Now, Mamata Banerjee has defended the SSC's autonomy. She has expressed support for affected candidates. In fact, she'll also be meeting them personally on April 7. The Aam Aadmi Today viewers is asking, how deep does this rot go? On the show today, we'll be diving into this explosive story shaking Bengal politics.
বাংলাকে আর কত টার্গেট করবে? ঢ্যাপামের কেসে কি হয়েছে? মধ্যপ্রদেশে 50-এর ওপর লোককে খুন করা হয়েছে। কি শাস্তি হয়েছে অপরাধীদের? আমাদের এই কেসে তো সিবিআই এডুকেশন দেন এডুকেশন মিনিস্টারকে জেলে রেখে দিয়েছেন আজকে অনেক দিন হয়ে গেল। ওই সে নিয়ে তো আমরা একটা কথাও কখনো বলিনি। তো একই অপরাধীর কবার শাস্তি হয়?
जो राय आई है, जो verdict आई है, उसकी वजह से बंगाल में लगभग 26,000, 25,500 से भी ज्यादा टीचर नॉन टीचिंग जो 2016 साल से नौकरी कर रहे थे, उनकी नौकरी चली गई। सारे परिवार रास्ते में आ गए। इसके लिए जिम्मेदार कौन है? जिम्मेदार ममता बनर्जी है। और ममता बनर्जी इसलिए जिम्मेदार है कि ममता बनर्जी ने अपने पार्टी के लोग जिन्होंने पैसा खाया था, पैसा खा के जो योग्य नहीं है उनको नौकरी दिया था, वो ममता बनर्जी उनको बचाने के लिए, अपनी पार्टी के नेता जो पैसा लिए थे उनको बचाने के लिए ममता बनर्जी ने जो योग्य थे, जिन्होंने परिश्रम करके पढ़ाई करके जिनको नौकरी मिली थी, उन सबको आग में झोंक दिया ममता बनर्जी ने। पूरे 25,000 से ज्यादा 26,000 परिवार रास्ते में आ गए।
जो लोग 25-26 हजार होंगे करीबन, जिसका नौकरी चले गए सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वर्डिक्ट आज का जो है उसके मुताबिक, उसके ऊपर हम संवेदनशील है। इस बार हाई कोर्ट का वर्डिक्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने प्रिवेल करके रखा, तो हम फिर बोलते हैं हम जुडिशियरी को मानते हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को मानते हैं, तो वी रेस्पेक्ट द वर्डिक्ट। बट हम यही बोलेंगे कि हम ममता जी के ऊपर हमारी भरोसा है। तो ममता जी आज ही दोपहर को एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट को साथ एक मीटिंग भी बुलाए, तो कुछ तो तैयार होगा। गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी कुछ आइडिया निकल सकता है, क्या सॉल्यूशन निकलेगा। हमारा ममता जी के ऊपर भरोसा है, वो कुछ तैयार करके रखेंगे।
जो हुआ है वो तो बहुत बुरा हुआ है, मतलब हमारे साथ जो हुआ है वो बहुत बुरा हुआ है। और जो कॉज दिखाया गया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा, जो बोला गया था कि ये सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस का गोलमाल हो चुका है, इसीलिए ये सारा जो सर्विस है इसे टर्मिनेट कर दिया गया।
किस बात के लिए हमें सजा मिल रही है? हमें पैसा रिटर्न नहीं करना है, मतलब हम अनटेंटेड है, तो फिर हमारे नौकरी क्यों जाएगी? ये कैसा हुआ? मतलब ये कैसा जजमेंट हुआ? जो
ऑर्डर है वो पूरी तरीके से निंदनीय है, क्योंकि 26,000 जो टीचर है, उस टीचर में सभी तो इलीगल कैंडिडेट नहीं है। सीबीआई वो इंक्वायरी किया है, उस इंक्वायरी ने जो इलीगल कैंडिडेट उसको अलग किया गया है। फिर भी 26,000 टीचर सभी कैंसिल नहीं, इसमें सभी कैंसिल नहीं हो सकता है।
All right, joining us on the broadcast, Joy Mallick from the BJP, Syed Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst, and Aditya Pratap, lawyer. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Joy, first question to you now. The Mamata Banerjee government kept saying, every time you made an allegation, the Mamata Banerjee government kept saying that you're trying to eat into the jobs of innocent people. It's a political conspiracy. And when the Supreme Court today now comes out and says that it was an absolutely tainted and manipulated process, how does the BJP respond?
No, just you have to understand that who is saying, the Supreme Court is saying that this is a totally tainted and corrupt. The whole A to Z, the process was corrupt. Now, I'll tell you one thing, what they did. Now, during the examination, the OMR sheets were blank. The blank OMR sheets submitted were not even preserved. They gave these OMR sheets to such an organization, such a company or agency who were supposed to save the mirror images. They didn't do it. They saved ADF formats. That means what? The ADF formats where you can manipulate the figures and create a new OMR sheet. Now, apparently, what we see, the Education Minister of West Bengal, Partha Chatterjee, is in the jail now. Why? Now, when the CBI investigators were there in West Bengal investigating, they found crores and crores of rupees from his residence and from his girlfriend's residence. Where did this money come from? This is nothing but the money which has been taken from these candidates, that you give us the money, I'll give you the job. This has been going on from the beginning. And now what the Supreme Court is saying...
Mr. Mallick, one of the reactions coming in from the Chief Minister today, Mamata Banerjee, very clearly mentioned that SSC is an autonomous body. Essentially, what she was trying to do is that put her government away from the SSC. She's saying that what happened in the SSC has nothing to do with the TMC government.
I'll tell you one thing, the SSC chief is totally connected with Mamata Banerjee. He have been listening to Mamata Banerjee from the first day. The whole operation have been headed by Mamata Banerjee. Nothing else. I'll tell you one thing. Now, SSC, they were asked to cooperate with the investigation agencies. They didn't. The state government, along with the SSC, did not cooperate with the CBI during the investigation. Now, another thing, the blank OMR sheets. Why were these blank OMR sheets not identified, and why can't the SSC segregate that who is genuine and which one is tainted? Because they don't want to come give this data to the public, because they will be caught. I'll tell you one thing, non-eligible candidates have been given job, and that also in lieu of money. Now, my question is, the supernumerary post, that what the Supreme Court is saying, that has been decided in a cabinet meeting. Now, where does the cabinet meeting take place? And that also under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee. Now, Mamata Banerjee have to answer that how can this kind of supernumerary posts take, and the decision have been taken, and that also in the cabinet meeting. Why is she not answering that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me take this across to Syed Asad Abbas as well. Syed, you just heard Joy Mallick from the BJP make his argument there, and this is something that even the court has noted. Yes, there is no direct evidence linking Mamata Banerjee to this entire issue, but the reality is the decisions, some of the decisions, shocking decisions, including the extension of the number of seats, like he said, supernumerary positions, it was a cabinet level decision that was taken. How can TMC today come out and say that, yes, we stand with the victims here, but the reality is we absolutely have no involvement? How is it that an Aam Aadmi is supposed to believe that all of this happened, 26,000 people now losing their jobs, something so massive happening, and the government absolutely having no idea about it?
Ashish Sahab, I've always believed with great power there's great responsibility and equal accountability. The Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, Shri Mamata Banerjee, has already stated that she will abide by the Supreme Court's verdict. As a matter of fact, we need to understand that there is absolutely no corroborative evidence linking Mamata Banerjee to this scam. Also, we need to understand that now what is most important is that those 26,000 teachers who've lost their job, what is the central government or even the state government going to do about it? I think on the April 7th, Mamata Banerjee has called in for a meeting along with all the 26,000 teachers to appear kindly, and she in her might will do with the best of legal help at her disposal, and also what better solutions that could be provided to bring to the foray. And Ashish Saab, I'd like to thank the team Mirror Now and you, sir, for doing this story which truly matters to our nation today. And to all those 26,000 teachers who are out of jobs, I really plead to the Mamata Banerjee government, to the central government of Modi ji, to kindly bring in reform so that these 26,000 livelihoods, their homes are run on this, are taken care. Also, I believe that be it in the case of the Trinamool Congress or even the Bharatiya Janata Party, when we see the Vyapam case, what is happening? Why is the CBI, ED, IT hell-bent only on attacking the opposition ruled states? Why not their own BJP? Many a times we don't even see any action on the cases on BJP leaders. Not just that, the ED cases, CBI cases are all frozen with them. Nothing on that front.
Syed will get into those details. I was going to come to that as well. I'll take a response from Joy Mallick as well on that. But one of the interesting points that you made there was about the teachers. And Aditya Pratap, you're a lawyer yourself. This, of course, is a very strong ruling that's come from the Supreme Court. Very strong words used as well. Words like manipulated, vitiated, process that has been completely corrupted. Now, the reality is 26,000 people, teachers, now losing their jobs. But the reality is, not every one of them actually was involved in this process. Not every one of them had paid money to get the job. There are a lot of people who were not involved that actually also now are losing jobs because some other people were involved in it. Again, is there any potential way to identify who are these people? And do you now believe that a lot of these innocents as well will now have to suffer the fate because of some corrupt babus and corrupt netas?
First and foremost, public duties, public jobs, public service is not someone's right. It is not their God-given entitlement. Oh, we have got our jobs. We can't lose these jobs. Public service. Secondly, government teaching. It is a sacred and sacrosanct job where the recruitment has to be done in compliance with the constitutional principles. It should be a corruption-free process. In fact, this is a brilliant judgment by the Supreme Court of India, which is a slap on the face of those babus who for decades have made money and done corruption in recruitment of constables, clerks, so many, public service commissions, shameful, teachers. In the recruitment of teachers, you're making money. Shame on these people. In fact, Mamata Banerjee, I say that all the bureaucrats in the Mamata Banerjee government and who else is responsible, they are trying to use these 26,000 teachers as human shields, which should not be permitted. One strong judgment from the Supreme Court will ensure that public service commissions across the country will shudder at the thought of corruption
Aditya
infiltrating
Pratap,
the recruitment process.
you just heard Mamata Banerjee's response there. She says she accepts the verdict, but she does not welcome it. I'm not sure if she has any other option, but the reality is her party members, the MPs now, are coming out and saying that they will find an alternative arrangement for these people who are now suffering. Is there any constitutional way that they can actually find an alternative arrangement to people who have actually lost their jobs because of a massive scam?
Not at all. It's as simple. This is government service. It is governed by principles of equality of opportunity under Articles 14 and 16 of the Constitution of India. Article 14 says equality before law and equal opportunity of law. These 26,000 teachers cannot have any comfortable vacancies waiting for them in some other department. They should go and give the exam again. 55 lakh police constables, if you remember, wrote the exam again for the police bhartis in Uttar Pradesh, which happened recently. The first exam was set aside, second exam went off well. And further, the Supreme Court has gone on very systematic law points in its judgment. Supreme Court said that when an in-depth factual inquiry reveals systemic irregularities such as malice or fraud that undermine the integrity of the entire selection process, the result should be cancelled in its
Aditya,
entirety.
are you, in simple words, are you now saying that the TMC promising these teachers an alternative arrangement is just a sham? They're lying to these teachers that there will be an alternative arrangement?
It's a sham. How can you give a gazetted or a notified public post on a preferential allotment? Means you are trying to repeat the same process which Supreme Court has set aside in its judgment. Rather, your candidates should have the courage to write the exam again. We have seen enough of public servants who think, "Arey meri sarkari naukri ho gayi, ab main set ho gaya." Nothing doing. You're in public service. You should perform or you should perish, and perform with integrity.
Absolutely.
Enough. Today my blood boils at the thought how corruption like cancer has pervaded the system.
Absolutely. I can understand Aditya Pratap, your sentiments there. And Joy Mallick, one of the things that you just heard Syed Asad Abbas also say is that yes, if there is a error, it has to be fixed. But one of the things that he's saying is that this enthusiasm that the probing agencies show in a particular state usually happens to be a non-BJP state, and in BJP states, the same sort of an enthusiasm is not shown.
I have one more point to add.
Again, has been an allegation that a lot of opposition parties have to make. Aditya, I'll come to you, but I want Joy to respond to this because this was a very pointed question that Syed raised there.
Absolutely a waste of time answering this question, because I'll tell you, because the central government agencies, be it CBI, be it ED, it is not controlled by the central government. That is an independent agency. And what he missed out, I'll tell you one thing, that is the name Partha Chatterjee is not a normal name. He was the second in command of Trinamool Congress after Mamata Banerjee. He was the education minister of Bengal. Now you see, 20,000 people, 20,000 not only, don't count as 20,000 people, 20,000 families are now in stake. Now see, several people have taken loan, house loan, home loan. Their expenditures are counted like on the basis of their education, child's education, fathers, mothers, health expenditures. All are connected. Now, where these 26,000 people will go? I'll tell you another thing. This is not only in the education scam, even in the municipal recruitment, corporation recruitment, Oyon Shield. This is the person who has been seen several times beside Abhishek Banerjee. Now, who is Oyon Shield?
But
he is the person
Mr. Joy Mallick, the BJP has been saying that 5 to 15 lakh rupees were collected from all of these candidates. Now, most of the candidates that come out and speak, they are saying that they have absolutely no idea about something like this happening. And the TMC then is using this to say that the BJP is basically trying to spread misinformation. And at the end of the day, what it's doing is that it's also affecting the genuine candidates.
Then obviously the question will come, why SSC has not preserved the OMR sheets? This is what I'm trying to say. Even in the case of Oyon Shield also, huge bundles of OMR sheets have been found from his residence. Now, CBI has already taken out this and preserved those OMR sheets. Now, the Trinamool Congress leader...
All right, let me take this point across. Let me take this point across to Syed Asad Abbas. Syed, now, again, this has been an argument that the BJP has been making for many months now. The fact that, again, it's not a baseless allegation that they're leveling against the Mamata Banerjee government. One of the close aides of Mamata Banerjee has been arrested, booked in connection to this case. How can the chief minister of a state absolutely claim innocence when someone so close to her is involved in this? And if she is absolutely clueless about it, does this not show that Mamata Banerjee has absolutely no idea what's happening in her state? And also, one of the things that Joy said is that this entire allegation that you make about CBI, ED being active in certain states and not active in states is absolutely bogus.
How is it bogus when I think my friend Joy Mallick of BJP from Kolkata or West Bengal has not read the Supreme Court's observation? And Supreme Court in its judgment said that the CBI ED is acting like a caged parrot on the behest of the central government. And you say it is independent, sir. Sir, ये जो जनता है ना हिंदुस्तान की, हम बहुत चालाक हैं, समझ जाते हैं कि कैसे, how the central government is using these. The fact of the matter, let me bring to your focus, sir, that Ajit Pawar was one leader. I did not interrupt you. I did no, not fair. No, I did not interrupt you, Mr. Joy. Please don't interrupt me. Thank you. Mr. Ajit Pawar was called the National Corrupt Party. And then when he joins your ally, he becomes corruption-free. Devendra Fadnavis called him Chucky piecing and piecing. What happened, sir? You didn't put him in jail? Today, the Bharatiya Janata Party has become a washing machine. Any neta of the Shinde Sena, Shiv Sena, or even the NCP, or even Suvendu Adhikari, who was the right-hand man of Mamata Banerjee, the day he joined, what about cases on him? What about the Sharda chit fund scam? Nothing. Why? Because he joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. Many leaders today joining the party and becoming absolutely clean. पहले होता था washing powder Nirma, अभी washing machine भाजपा हो क्या रहा है? And so please read the Supreme Court judgment. It clearly states that the CBID today are acting like caged parrots on the behest of the government. Now coming to the point, 26,000 teachers that you speak of, sir, The fact is, what about all the innocent people who have genuinely applied, meritoriously been selected?
Who's responsible for this?
Because of those wrong ones, you will take away all their jobs.
Who's responsible
this
for
is
this?
something to be done. If you,
Mr.
your
Syed,
party, and the central
No, but
government
no,
are
no,
bothered, please do something about it.
Mr. Syed Abbas, Mr. Syed Abbas. Again, the argument is who's responsible for that? Even if it was just 5 people who did it, under whose leadership, under whose watch did it happen? It happened under the TMC rule. So at the end of the day, if there's anyone to blame, it has to be the TMC.
I will answer
Ashish,
that. Definitely, sir.
Ashish, let's take 1 minute. Mr. Syed,
That's a
I
fair
think
question. That's
Mr.
a fair
Syed
question.
didn't go
Keeping the
through
same thing in mind,
the judgment
investigation is going on
properly.
against Parth Banerjee. As we speak, Parth Banerjee in jail. And those who are found to be guilty should be punished at the highest order, sir. There are no two ways about it. Be it the Bharatiya Janata Party or any other party. Those who are playing with the lives of the people, those who are doing corruption, those who are using CBI, EDIT as per their own source and resources must be punished, and there are no two ways about it. Corruption should not be tolerated whatsoever it is. The fact we need to understand, if India has to be corruption free, be it the politicians or the babus, the bureaucrats must be held accountable.
Okay.
Without which this will fall flat.
So the point that Syed is making here is that Joy Mallick, while you talk so enthusiastically about what's happening in Bengal, he also says talk about Madhya Pradesh, the Vyapam scam. Why don't you talk with such enthusiasm about all of that?
No.
It's not like nothing has happened under the BJP's watch.
I'm literally surprised that why Mr. Syed is just escaping from the Bengal issue, because I think he haven't gone through the judgment copy which has come out from the Supreme Court today, where it is clearly mentioning that the central CBI has given the details, the report, and on the basis of the report submitted by CBI, this judgment has come. Now,
But Joy Mallick, is there? Syed is asking you a simple question. Is there any report that directly links Mamata Banerjee to this entire scam? He's basically asking you that simple question. He says, if this logic applies to Bengal, why not apply the same logic to Uttar Pradesh or say even Madhya Pradesh?
Yes, I'll tell you 3 points. Look, you are asking why Mamata Banerjee, you cannot find anything where Mamata Banerjee is directly linked to this corruption, right? I'll tell you one thing. Firstly, the supernumerary posts decision was taken in the cabinet meeting, and that also led by Mamata Banerjee, number 1. Number 2, Oyanshil, who is the second man to Abhishek Banerjee, where from his house, all the blank OMR sheets and several OMR sheets have been taken out by the CBI. And next, Partha Chatterjee, he is none other than the Education Minister of West Bengal, and that also the second in command, always seen beside Mamata Banerjee. And still you say that Mamata Banerjee doesn't know anything about this, what was going on? And where she says that I am the person who is always monitoring the operations of Trinamool and my government. This is Chief Minister of West Bengal. And now this thing comes up, she is just washing her hands
quickly
out.
10 seconds rebut that? Sir, if there was any evidence
Okay,
on Mamata
come in.
Banerjee, CBI would have put her in jail like Arvind Kejriwal. So don't blame Mamata
Exactly.
Banerjee in this. There
Mr.
is absolutely
Syed,
no direct
Mr.
link of
Syed,
Mamata Banerjee.
correct you are.
You are
Correct
wrong
you are.
on facts, sir. You are absolutely
Correct you
wrong
are.
on your facts.
Agreed.
Also, what about Madhya Pradesh? What about
Agreed.
the Vyapam scam?
I'll tell you
Why
one
don't you
thing.
speak of that?
Yeah,
Only when it is opposition rule state you will speak, but
Mr.
BJP state you
Syed,
will not speak. What
Mr.
what
Syed.
level of duplicity and hypocrisy is this, sir? Please
Mr.
speak of the
Syed.
Vyapam scam. Do you condemn it?
I'll tell you, Mr. Syed, your dream that you're seeing that Mamata Banerjee getting arrested, this dream is gonna be true very soon.
What
Don't
dream
worry.
are you talking
It's a
about?
matter of time only. It's a matter of time. Exactly.
Okay. Let me get it. Let me get in Aditya Pratap here. Aditya, one thing that the Supreme Court has made very clear is that this entire process was manipulated. It was absolutely bogus. And there were very top level officials involved. Now, if you look into the details of everything that's come out, even in the chart sheet as well, it does give an inclination that there were top level government sources also involved in this. Again, Aditya, how is accountability going to be fixed? Because again, we're going to see some officials being sacked, some changes happening, some transfers happening. But what about the government officials? What about the netas? Who's going to take the blame?
First and foremost, in para 50 of the judgment, the Supreme Court has said, our observations and findings will not influence the criminal proceedings. Means the investigating agencies have been given a free hand. Mr. Asad gave an incorrect statement. Nowhere in the judgment has Supreme Court referred to CBI or ED as a cage parrot. Second, people are saying Mamata Banerjee's name is nowhere listed.
No, I think he was referring to some. He was referring to a different case.
Whatever it may be. Second part is a strict investigation and the Prevention of Corruption Act is necessary here, and an elaborate investigation of the money trail is a must. Third point to be considered is that the Honorable Supreme Court's observations are very scathing, and they've given a firm platform to investigate further. Number 4, let us make it very clear. Every leader at the top, there's a saying, the less they know, the better. Many a time the top leaders structure conspiracies in such a manner so that their signatures do not come. What better than history? When the Holocaust took place, there was not a single document containing Adolf Hitler's signature on the Jewish killings, but he was the instigator behind the Holocaust. Likewise, in finding a link will be difficult because the top leaders, they let their pawns take the beating while they themselves do not. Look at the legal policy scam also. The topmost leader's signature, they say, is not there. So any investigator will have to keep this in mind. Now, opposition parties are crying vyapam. Opposition parties are saying that look at other states. I simply say, first of all, in Indian law, there is no concept of negative inequality. Police officer catches me, I cannot tell him catch the others. Second is that if you are playing the morally high card, if you are taking the morally high ground, then you please clean up your orgy and stables. You make your recruitment processes clear and transparent.
Absolutely,
so
Aditya. I think one wrong does not offset the other wrong. I think the justice has to be delivered when it comes to every single act that's done. I'm afraid we're running short of time right now, but it's been a very enlightening and a very insightful debate here. Joy Mallick from the BJP, Aditya Pratap, lawyer, and also Syed Abbas, political analyst. Really appreciate you all joining us on the broadcast. And viewers, on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of the broadcast. Lots more lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.